Well, the first thing to say is it's distinct from nationalism. Nationalism, I would define as sort of a celebration of one's country regardless, and a belief in its inherent superiority over every other country on earth, which is what animates what people call American exceptionalism, which I think, strictly speaking, is a Christian heresy, by the way. It's so odd to see, maybe not so odd, to see a party dominated by religion adopt something that is clearly not just not Christian, but anti-Christian. Where were we again? What was that? What was the question?
How do you define patriotism?
Thank you. For me, it means a love and a fondness for where one comes from and where one lives, and a desire to protect it from harm, and a passion for its eccentricities and strengths, and an awareness and loving forgiveness for its flaws. It is irrespective of other countries, because it is simply a love of what is one's own. I think that I realized that I was an American patriot when I wept on 9/11, because it felt to me as if this place that I had come to know and love as my home, partly because it was such a refuge from the terrors and horrors of the wider world, had been effectively had its innocence taken from it, raped, really, on 9/11. And I grieved the way one would grieve for a person. Not just grieve, but grieve hysterically, I mean, sobbing and extraordinarily traumatized in ways that clouded my judgment subsequently. I think it means a love of the landscape, a love of nature as it's found in one's own home, a love of particular cities and their ways of life, and a love of the great traditions and icons of our past. I'll give you one tiny example of how I would define it. I remember in 2006 when I got the news by phone that John McCain had crumbled on CIA torture in the Military Commissions Act, and allowed the CIA and supported the Bush administration in allowing the CIA to do to others what the Vietnamese had once done to him. And it was actually going to be part of the law for the first time in American history. That we didn't just have a rogue executive torturing people, but we now had a legislative buy-in, thanks to John McCain. And all I could do, I mean, I was beside myself, because I guess I take these things kind of personally sometimes. They upset me in ways that they don't upset other, perhaps more healthily adjusted people. But all I could do was get on my bike and go to the Jefferson Memorial. It's all I could think of to do. And just sit there with him in that spot and think, America may not be recognizable to me today, but America is America. And these words around me will forever live. And I love it. And I think that isn't an aggressive or belligerent love of country. I think it is the right form. It's the kind of thing that leads to something called national defense, rather than preemptive war and occupation of other countries.